This works. I'm hot. So let's see if this works. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works tonight. Think so. I think I'm good now. What's going on tonight, guys? Modoc, what up? Jose, what's up, brother? What up, Brian? Setsu, what up with you? What's going on tonight, guys? How y'all doing? I'm on tonight because we had some really good in-season games. I watched that Denver, New Orleans game. I watched the Celtics-Toronto game. What up, Spoo? How you doing, brother? I watched that Celtics-Toronto game, which was really good. I watched a couple of games tonight, and because I watched a couple of games tonight, I noticed there's a level of competitiveness with these teams that I haven't seen in the regular season in a while. And I'm thinking to myself, man, where is this coming from? Is it just because of the bread? Because, I mean, these guys make plenty of bread, plenty. It's not a situation where where these guys don't make plenty of money. If you add in an extra 500,000 and you want to add a trophy to it, I mean, I guess I can understand that, but I mean, I don't want to sound like the get off my lawn type of dude, but why is it that the in-season tournament has made the regular season at this juncture so much more competitive? I mean, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate an extra $500,000, right? And bragging rights. And I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm warming up to the in-season tournament a lot more than I was when it first started. I was not a fan of it. Not at all. I was not a fan of the in-season tournament at all. And I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was just a money grab. And I didn't think it was something that could actually last. But from watching this actually looks like something that could turn into something. And the fact that these games are way more competitive in the middle of November than I remember in recent past in the middle of November, it says a lot about the idea of the in-season tournament. Don't get me wrong. I know that these guys make a lot of money, right? I know these guys make a lot of money, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching the Lakers Trailblazers game too. I'm going to flip back to the Clippers Houston game in a minute. But I know these guys make a lot of money, and because these guys make a lot of money, I'm thinking to myself, that should be incentive enough, because the game isn't, I want to be great to everybody, right? The game is a job to a lot of guys. What up, SB? The game is a job to a lot of guys. It's something that, this is not who I am. This is what I do. I come to work, I do my job, and I'm gone. You know, there aren't many Kobe Bryants. There aren't many Michael Jordans, LeBron Jameses. There aren't many of those guys in the NBA today. And I don't mean that from a player standpoint. I'm not talking about guys that are that good in terms of being players. I'm talking about guys who are actual ballers, who bring that level of intensity and who play hard and who go hard. And this is what I do. This is me right here. There aren't many guys like that. There's plenty of guys in the league that are more concerned with their off the court brand more than they are letting their game do the talking for them. And I think FIFA is right. FIFA, I think you're right. It does talk. Yes, money does talk. It talks pretty loud, right? The money talks really loud. If you want me to name the ballers in the league, render, sure, I can. I can name you. I can name you guys that if they weren't playing in the NBA, and if they was working at the post office, they'd still be playing they'd still be playing at night. I think Jason Tatum is one of those dudes. I think James is one of those guys. I think Jimmy Butler is a baller. I think Tyrese Haliburton strikes me as a baller. Whether he playing in the NBA or he playing in a rec league, he's a baller. I think Shea is a baller. I'm just thinking about some of the I'm thinking about some of the stars. I think I'm not just thinking about the stars. I'm thinking about other guys too. Like I think Mikal Bridges is a baller. I believe that Mikal Bridges, if he didn't play in the NBA and he had a gig, he'd still be running somewhere. I believe he is a baller. I believe Donovan Mitchell is a baller. Let's see. Who else am I thinking about? I don't know if LaMelo is a baller. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that LaMelo is a baller. I can't say that with 100% certainty that he's a baller. I think Franz Wagner is a baller. I think that if he wasn't playing in the NBA, you could find him at a park somewhere running. Because I think I absolutely believe he's a baller. Aaron Gordon, I think he's a baller. I think Joker is a baller to an extent. I just think Joker got other interests. Tim Hardaway's a baller. I think Ant Edwards is a baller too. I do believe that Ant Edwards is a baller. 100%, I believe that. If Ant Edwards wasn't in the NBA, I wholeheartedly believe that he would be. You would find him in a rec league somewhere. I definitely believe that you would find him in a rec league somewhere. Who else am I thinking about? I think Steph Curry is a baller. I don't think Steph. I don't think if Steph was playing in the NBA, he would just be doing something. No, you would find Steph in a rec league somewhere or at a park somewhere on the regular. Klay Thompson too. I don't know if you'll find Andrew Wiggins somewhere else though. I do think you'd find Shea at a park if he wasn't playing in the NBA. I definitely think you'd find Lou Dort somewhere running. I definitely believe that. So I definitely believe that. So I'm interested to know why has the in-season tournament been so competitive in the regular season? Because I've seen the regular season. I've seen the regular season competitive. I have. I've seen teams jump out to big leads early. Like I saw the Houston Rockets jump out to a big lead early in 1984. I've seen the Bulls jump out to a big lead in 1986. The Warriors in 2015-16. I've seen them jump out to a big lead. So I've seen the league competitive early where teams don't want to get steamrolled. So these teams jump out to leads early and they make the league competitive. But this level of competitiveness, I see it. It's pretty impressive, man. It is. And I know, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. $500,000 is a lot of money. I don't care if you're making $50 million. I don't care if you're making $17 million in a season. $500,000 is a lot of money. And it is an incentive. 100% it is. But these guys also have base salaries. And not only do they have base salaries, they also have endorsement deals, which is what's called a second job. Right? And yes, Renda, I do believe that Jalen Brunson is a baller. If he wasn't playing for the Knicks, you could find him in a rec league or you could find him at a park. 100% I believe that. But the point that I was making is that these guys have endorsement deals, which are called second jobs. So if I get my NBA contract with the Portland Trail Blazers and I sign a shoe deal with Nike or I sign a shoe deal with Adidas, that's a second job. This is my primary gig, or as my brother would call it, where I'm working now with the Portland Trail Blazers. This is the mortgage money, the Nike deal, the car deal, the not the shoe deal, but the food deal, the clothing deal. That's the sneaker and sweater money. That's what my brother calls it. There's the mortgage money, and then there's the sneaker and sweater money. And I think a lot of these guys treat the mortgage money like it's just, they don't treat the mortgage money like it's just that. I feel like they treat it like, this is just expected, when, that's a lot of bread and that's a lot of incentive. I'd like to keep my job. And because I want to keep my job, right? Because I want to keep my job, I want to be as competitive as I possibly can. So, Chill, if anybody who knew it, it would be you. You played in the league. I never played in the NBA. I did not. No, I didn't. I think it's interesting that the NBA has now added something like this. And it's pretty impressive how competitive it is. I think it's great for the league too. I do. I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for viewership. And I'm warming up to it. I am. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't warming up to it, because the more I watch this, and if this is going to be something that's, because at the end of the day, if this is going to be something that's as competitive like this, I'm all in, because that's what this is about. I want to see good basketball, right? I don't want to see basketball that's just going through the motions and guys just showing up and, yeah, I got to be here, so whatever. I enjoy the competitive aspect of the game. And I know it's a long season. And I know a lot of these guys, especially the dudes that have been around for a long time, this gets a little redundant. Like, here we are again. I'm in year 9, and it's December, and we got this 5-game, 8-night road trip on the West Coast that I got to go on. And I have now developed other interests, right? So I do understand that aspect. But in the end, this is still my job, right? This is still my gig. And because this is still my gig, I still got to bring a level of competitiveness. I mean, I heard Jason Tatum say something really interesting. And he said, quote, not to toot my own horn, but, there's kids in the stands that got my jersey on, and we only come down to Charlotte twice a year. So if we playing against Charlotte in January on a Tuesday on League Pass, I can't take the night off. I can't do that, because people came to see us play, particularly me. So I owe it to the game. I don't necessarily owe it to the fans, because I do believe that they're a part of it. But that's not to say I don't owe it to the fans, because they are a part of it. But I owe it to the game not to cheat the game. If I'm gonna play, if I'm gonna step out here, I can't step out here and just go through the motions. No. You came to see a show, so I got to give it to you. 100%. I do. Spoo asks, how do you feel about Shaedon Sharpe? I think he's Vince Carter with some Brandon Roy in his game. That's pretty high praise. So are we talking about a Shaedon Sharpe that's a potential all-NBA performer? Definitely an all-star? Is that who we talking about? Because Vince Carter was box office. That's who Vince Carter was. Vince Carter wasn't a good player. Vince Carter was an all-pro. Even though he was only an all-pro twice, he had a stretch where it really wasn't much that was going on in the NBA from like 1999. I'm going to say to like 2000, maybe probably 2003, where Vince Carter was a big deal. Big deal. Damn, James still good. It just looked like I was watching the game, Infinity. It looked like a playoff game. It did. Scotty Barnes really showed up. He absolutely did. So definitely looked up. Definitely looked like a different atmosphere tonight. FIFA says, OG, when you bring RJ up on your channel or in Fluent and Chill, OJ, when you bring up RJ on your channel or in Fluent and Chill, do you mean RJ Barrett? Because I talk about RJ Barrett all the time. I do. I talk about RJ Barrett all the time. If that's who you're talking about, or are you talking about Richard Jefferson? Yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about, because I talk about RJ Barrett all the time. Hey, Chill, I think with the in-season tournament, I think they should change the prize money. Prize to the winner should get an automatic playoff spot. No, Clutch, absolutely not. No, no, I do not think that. And the reason why I don't think that is because when you do that, what you're doing is you're extremely lessening the regular season. What do I have to play for? I'm already in the playoffs. No. Now you make the regular season irrelevant. And it's because of stuff like that that I say, let's just get right to the playoffs. If it's gonna be logic like that. So no, we're not doing that. So if a team like Charlotte ends up winning the play-in tournament, they get hot, and we automatically give them a playoff spot, and they finish the season 25 games under 500. That ain't a playoff team. That is not. That is not a playoff team. Well, I grew up in Jersey, so I always wanted to play for the Nets when I was a kid. There wasn't a specific team anywhere else that I was considering, or that I always wanted to play for the New Jersey Nets, because I grew up in Jersey. So when I was a kid, I was a big Kenny Anderson fan. I dug Derek Coleman. So that's the one team that I thought to myself, I would love to play for the New Jersey Nets, because I was from Jersey. I didn't really think about, being on the West Coast or the Midwest or anything like that. No, I didn't. So I got a super chat from Alex Pickering. He said, could Assault Thompson be first team all defense in his first year? Well, if you think about the perimeter defenders in the game, Alex Caruso, Jaden McDaniels, Drew Holiday, OG Anunoby, Herb Jones. But from what I understand, right? From what I understand, And what the fellas, what these guys are telling me is Asor Thompson is one of the 5 best perimeter defenders, not rookie defenders, one of the 5 best perimeter defenders in the game. And I'm thinking to myself, that's pretty high praise for a rook. Because you're talking about a guy in Asor who is what, 19 years old? He's a kid. And already he's better than 90% of the perimeter defenders in the game. So the better perimeter defenders in the game, like Herb Jones, like Scotty Barnes, Marcus Smart, Derek White. You telling me that he better than them dudes, and we need to start talking about Asor Thompson like we talk about Mikal Bridges? We need to start talking about him like that? He's that kind of perimeter defender? Because, man, he's better than Lou Dort? Is that what I'm understanding? I'm just having a difficult time with the logic that, don't get me wrong, I saw Tim Duncan make the All-NBA defensive team as a rook. I saw Tim Duncan make the All-NBA defensive team as a rook in a league when it was a big man league. Even though Olajuwon was over, but Shaq was still awesome. Lonzo Mourning, like Dikembe Mutombo was still running around. Ben Wallace had just showed up. Garnett was in the league. Malone was still in the league, right? So, and I saw Tim Duncan make the All-League defensive team as a rook. So because I've seen him make the All-League defensive team as a rook, that meant that he was really good as a defender. And it said a lot because it was a big man league, right? So because it was a big man league and he made the All-League defensive team, it validated him as a rook. It validated it later on when he continued to make All-League defensive teams. So this kid, Asor Thompson, apparently, I didn't watch the game tonight against Cleveland. I was wrapped up in the Toronto game. I was wrapped up in the Toronto-Boston game and the New Orleans-Denver game. I was watching that. I didn't watch the Cleveland game tonight. And I will say that I am not immensely disappointed with Evan Mobley, but I did expect him to be better. I did. I expected to see a leap this season with Evan Mobley as a big, and I expected to see that leap. I expected to see that leap offensively. I know what he can be defensively, right? I know what he could be defensively. It's offensively which I was waiting to see the jump. So I haven't seen that yet. And some nights he looks like he could be Chris Bosh on offense because I see the skill set is there. But then some nights he looked like Rudy Gobert. Where is he just a better version of Rudy Gobert? So I mean, what am I thinking? A crypto three, whatever your name is. To say he has zero offense means he can't score. So you don't know what you're talking about. You do not know what you're talking about when you say that. You have no idea. You're just talking. You're just talking. Because I've seen him knock down mid-post shots. I've seen him knock down mid-range shots. So you're just talking. Now, if you want to come in here and actually talk basketball, let's do that. But don't come in here telling me that he's trash, because I'm going to have to ask you to leave because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't. I'm good on this dude. Yeah, I'm straight. He can bounce. I don't have time for goofies. I don't. I do not have time for goofies. No, I do not. I do not have time for goofies. Nope. So apparently I'm going to have to start paying more attention. Apparently I'm going to have to start paying more attention to Asor Thompson. And I said this to Mars, and I said this to the guys on the panel. I'm having I had a difficult time last year with San Antonio. That was a tough watch. And Detroit. And they still at the bottom of the East, but apparently they're a little bit more competitive. Even though I know your record, says who you are, but it doesn't tell the whole story. It does not. Mm-mm. It does not tell the whole story about who you are. So when I'm watching a team like Detroit, losing in dogfights because they're young and they don't really know what they're doing yet, I do understand that. I do get that. Right? Yeah, I do get that part. So maybe I do need to start paying attention to this kid, Asor Thompson, a little bit more as a defender, because to hear that he's a top 5 perimeter defender, man, that's high praise, yo. That is high praise. Jumpman Jump said Keith Murray, the most beautifulest thing in this world. Yeah. Football FC says, Football FC says, I don't necessarily think it's just the in-season tournament. I think overall level of talent has spread out throughout the league. I'm not going to argue that. And the reason why I'm not going to argue that at FC is because I'm on record saying how competitive the league has become in terms of individual talent. I'm not going to argue that. I absolutely am. I wholeheartedly believe that the league has become way more talented. This influx of young talent, plus what's already here, I think it's fantastic. I won't argue that. But I've also seen the league talented. I've seen Baron Davis and Jason Kidd, Steve Francis and Steve Nash and Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson. I've seen these guys show up and be ridiculously talented. I've seen that, right? So because I've seen that, and I've seen Vince Carter and Bryant and Ray Allen and the Tracy McGrady. I've seen the better 2 guards show up and the league be talented. But I'm trying to remember when this early in the season, when games have been this competitive. This is pretty impressive. This is pretty impressive what I'm seeing right now. So Leaf Diggy in the house says to me, I'm gonna tell you like I tell Bobby. Don't think I don't believe I don't believe in your old ass. Your basketball mind is wise for a reason. Black Friday, you have to change a lot. My old ass, that's funny. What is a good player comparison for Kyle Lowry when he was in Toronto? Spoo asked me, what's a good player comparison for Kyle Lowry when he was in Toronto? I think he was a lesser version of Tim Hardaway. That's what I think he was. He was a slightly lesser version of Tim Hardaway Sr. in Toronto. He couldn't shoot it like Tim Hardaway, but I think he was a little less of a version of him. When I think about him. So excuse me. I appreciate that, Spo. And I appreciate that, Leaf Diggy, my dude, who always is on my case. Every time I turn around, he giving me the business. And it's wild as hell, but all right, whatever. Nope. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to get thrown off the track here. I want to make sure that I'm clear on what it is I'm talking about, which is, the in-season tournament, man, and how it's been so competitive. And this brand of basketball is really good. I like it. I do like it. 100% I do. I want to hear from you guys, though. I do. I want to hear from you guys, telling me, what do you think of this in-season tournament? Right? What do you think of it? What about the in-season tournament excites you? What do you think about the in-season tournament so far? Who in the in have you been disappointed by any crew? Have you been disappointed by any teams? Have you liked any teams? I don't understand why we have to resort to extra bread. Right? I know that it's already a lot of bread being made in the NBA as it is. The fact that we got to resort to extra bread as an incentive, right? The fact that we got to resort to extra bread as an incentive, I think that's wow. So why is that? Why is the in-season tournament this competitive because of the extra bread, or is it a trip to Vegas? What is it that makes the in-season tournament what it is? I'm going for a second. I'm going to throw this Clipper game on and see what I'm working with the Clippers, because I got to start paying more attention to Houston too. I got you. So let me find out some information from some people first. See what I'm dealing with. Eli, what's up, brother? What's up, brother?
What's good, OG? Can
What
you
up?
hear me?
Yep, you hot. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. I did not like the in-season tournament at first until I saw how competitive it became.
Right.
These dudes are out here playing like it's the finals, and we haven't even gotten the ground. We haven't gotten off the ground with the season yet, with the new season. Dame, I don't know if you got a chance to hear about it, but Damian Lillard had a really interesting take talking about how, some of these guys, that 500,000 is guaranteed no matter who's on that team for the winner.
Right.
And this is, like he said, life-changing money for some of these guys.
Yes.
So I think with the NBA being the brotherhood that it is, it's not only the money, but it's the motivation to, let me help set my brother up. Because even he may be my teammate for a couple games, for this year only, and I may never see him again after that. But knowing that I did something to help this dude, get this money by us all coming together and taking this thing serious and not just, being real, especially for the superstars, because they can, how they can be, with their egos and stuff like that. But putting that aside and saying, listen, this is something that's going to help you long term. Even after, if you blow your knee out tomorrow, you got that 500,000, your life still changed. So I didn't like it at first, but to see are hooping, how they are just going at it, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. I think it's good for the game.
I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't a hater of this. I didn't like it at all when it first showed up. I thought it was a money grab. I thought it was a gimmick, and I didn't like it at all. What I didn't expect was I didn't expect for it to be I didn't expect for the matchups to be what they were. I didn't expect it to be as competitive as it is, because I've seen the league talented before, right?
Yeah,
I've seen the league with guards, with bigs come in, and I've seen the league talented before. And early in the season, it's not as competitive as it is in February.
Right.
It's competitive early if you get a team that jumps out to a quick start. Like, for example, when Houston in 94, when they started out like 16-0, 22-1. So teams looking at Houston like, yo, they're not coming in here beating us. So they want to be competitive. The Warriors in 16, right? When they went on that.
Was it like 22 straight? Something like that?
Like
something crazy, yeah.
So, and San Antonio was good. So I've seen the league competitive. So, and I've seen it early. But as of late, I hadn't really seen it this competitive. Like these dudes, that Toronto Boston game, I watched, it looked like a playoff game, yo.
Right.
It did. It looked like a playoff game.
Same with those Warriors and Wolves games. Like the Draymond, aside from the choking or stuff, I don't condone that, any type of violence or anything like that. But like that first game before the incident happened in the second game
on
Sunday. On Sunday with Draymond and Ant going, it's like I love it because it is bringing back, and especially for your generation, that I'm one of those that like I can't stand to hear them say, oh, you know, these dudes is not, you know, and to a certain degree I understand, you know what I'm saying, but I feel like KD and LeBron had that experience. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but yeah, I'm going hard against a guy that is on the opposite team, but I'm gonna go even harder against my friend. I'm gonna go even harder against my brother. You know, and I think that's something that gets lost in translation. But bringing it back to where we are right now, it's amazing to see how, like, and what's so interesting is we're seeing who's really about it, not just basketball wise. I'm talking about your personality. Like I saw you had a video the other day where you were talking about, yo, this dude is one of those dudes with Draymond. We were talking about Draymond, he's like, yo, this is one of those dudes where he's selective about who he goes with. You know, he's selective because there's certain dudes that put that out there saying, listen, I'm not that one. Don't like this can go from basketball to, you know, Ali and a boxing match, you know, real quick, you know. So I'm loving how it's bringing out the competitive edge. And I think to a certain degree, it shocked the players. I don't think anybody expected this, especially when I saw like the colored courts. I'm like, come on, what are we doing, y'all? Like, what? This is $1 billion corporation.
It was kind of.
What are we doing? I'm like, what are we doing? It looked cartoonish. You know, like something out of like. Are we watching the deleted scene from Space Jam? Like, what is this? But now that we're seeing how these like the dogs are coming out, like the inner dog, like you either got it, you know, or you don't. I think this is also exposing some of those dudes as well. Like, you know, if you're a team and you're a GM, listen, I want to. You know, everybody wants to get better. You're looking at certain. This is going to help tell certain teams about, you know, potential targets, trades, free agents, and so this opens up a whole other different
even on their crew too. Even on their
crew. Listen, I may have to move this guy because this guy is not conducive to the culture that we're trying to build here.
Yeah,
you know, like for example, I know you saw I don't know that first Warriors game. Go back to that first Warriors game. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I know his first name is Brandon. Brandon Potomowski or whatever his name was, light-skinned dude. Look, short dude, but at the end of the game, he was like bruised up, and I'm like, am I watching like the 03 Pistons or something like that? Like his eye was all banged up, and he was hooping. He was hooping, and now that Steph is out, and now that Dre is out, he's a starter for this period of time, and he's been hooping.
Yes,
you know, so it's all of these things that again. I've been critical of Adam Sandler. I mean, I said Silver. I'm sorry.
Silver, sure.
Of how he has kind of just dealt with certain things, particularly because I did grow up in the Stern era. Yeah. But I tip off my hat because I don't think anybody knew that this is going to go as well so far as it has gone. I mean, we got a whole brawl. Like a whole mini. You know, it wasn't as crazy as Mouse at the Palace, but we got something along those lines where. You know, we get altercations because dudes are fired up. Dudes, they wanna go to war, and I think it's good for the game.
I do too.
It's good for the game.
I do too. Absolutely.
It's good for the game.
Good to talk to you, brother. You know where to find me at, my man. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Good to talk to you. Yeah, I think this is fantastic, guys. This isn't something that I'm looking at going, yo, this is just a gimmick. I'm not all the way in, but I'm not as far out as I was before. I'm not. And Muhammad says to me, can we talk about KD not being washed and never been washed? I never said he was washed. Can we get to the bottom of that? What I said about KD was KD still has the goods. KD still has the skill set. But over the last 4 years, KD is breaking down. If you remember, fast forward a month from now. Today is November the 17th. He was in Brooklyn, December, like around 17. We were 2 months into the season. KD, I think at that point, he was like 60, 50, 87. So he was still balling. Then he got hurt for the third consecutive year. He got hurt. Because why? Because he's getting older. So the skill set is absolutely there. That part I won't fight. But we can't sit here and act like KD is still the same dude that he was 4 years ago. Because if we're doing that, something's wrong. Something is absolutely wrong. 100% it is. So, what up?
What up?
What up?
Listen, if you need me to say it out loud, I'm going to say it out loud. Yes, I got you on Black Friday. I got you on Fluent. You and your man's Fluent on Black Friday because I think all of the BS narratives and all of the spew that Legend of what like to pull out, and I don't really have too much of a problem with Mars takes, but that Low, he got to get dealt with, and I think listen, you and Fluent have the opportunity this Friday, this upcoming next Friday, man, to basically get these basketball conversations back on the right course that it need to be. And it just in my personal opinion, man. So so quit acting like I don't give a damn about you. If I send you money, that means I give a shit about your whole life.
I ain't say you did.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't say you didn't. But what I'm thinking is, I'm not concerned with not being able to hold my own. I step in the ring with anybody, and not only do I step in the ring with anybody, I tear anybody down. Because I know what I'm talking about.
To me, it's about this battle in particular. It's about more than just holding your own. It's about It's about persuading the audience.
Yeah, regulating. Like, wait a minute, this ain't what you hearing from this dude. No, this ain't basketball. No. This is how basketball is. What I'm telling you.
Because me and you both know that Low has the chat. Low has minions. Low has followers. He has he has disciples. That type of thing. So that's pretty much what you're going up against this Friday. The talking points can only go so far, and I know your talking points could go listen. You could listen. It's one man that I know that could deflect any damn thing and have an answer for almost everything that. Basketball wise, it's you, and it's always been you, man. And to get to the end season tournament, man, ain't this the basketball we've been looking for? Ain't this the competitive shit we've been looking for? Ain't this the fight?
I was watching that Toronto Boston game. It looked like a playoff game.
And speaking of which, Toronto, man, they ain't laying down. This is a team that we said was probably supposed to be right down there with Washington this season. And they ain't even packing it in, and I thought
they was the worst team I thought they was going to be the worst team in the league, like Washington, Charlotte. That's where I had them at.
Yeah. So with Siakam and OG and Scotty Barnes, they don't look to me like they packing it in. They look to me like, they looked at me like they dead serious, man. I wish we was as good. We was as dead serious as them, even though we 6-6.
Scotty Barnes gave Jason Tatum everything he was looking for tonight on the defensive end.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Everything he was. Yes, Jason Tatum. Do not let that box score fool you. If you see what Jason Tatum, that 1 for 11 from the 3-point line, it was way worse than that. It was way. It was.
Of course, it was. And the situations like that, which I keep explaining to you, and I try to get it through your old head, bro, like that Jason Tatum is gonna back down from, but you ain't gonna listen to me. It's gonna go out and one out here and one out the other.
Well, you're gonna have nights like this. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have that's gonna happen. You're gonna have nights like that.
Yeah, it is gonna happen. But the thing is, it can't happen going into late in the season and late in the playoffs.
It can't happen in the playoffs. No,
of course not.
It can't happen on the regular in the playoffs. That can't happen. You're gonna have a bad night.
It really can't happen at all, because the thing about the playoffs is that first round could take more energy off of you going into the next rounds, even though you win.
But that's what the summer is for, though, Leaf. That's why I get in shape in the summertime. That's why I get correct in the summertime, because we might get a draw like Toronto in the first round. And so, like you just said, Toronto ain't laying down, which means that could very well turn into a 5-6 game dogfight. And I gotta be prepared.
I'm gonna tell you, what you get in shape in the summertime for is the grind of the 82 game season. By the time the 82 games is over, you're already halfway spent. You're already at least 50 to 75% spent. Who said it a long time ago? Everybody hurt in the playoffs. Everybody tired in the playoffs. It's all about that will of attrition.
Nobody comes into the playoffs 100%.
Yeah, it's all about that will of attrition and how deep your roster is and all of them other stuff, man. And the things is, Boston, let's just face facts. Boston and Milwaukee, they went all in for broke. They pushed all their chips in the table.
This is for the championship. They didn't get Drew Holiday just to get there. No. We're trying to win it. That's why they did.
Yeah, exactly. So if Jason Tatum know how to ride the bike like you claim he do, I need to see it because I didn't
You
see
will.
it. I didn't see it.
Well, you didn't see it 2 years ago. But with not seeing it 2 years ago, Leaf, I'd like to think that, and I'm glad that you're here because this is going to be a different time. This dude you saw 2 years ago, the dude you saw 2 years ago was a kid who really didn't know what he was doing. This guy right here, you seeing a different dude, and I'm telling you, you are going. I'm not. If you don't have your mind made up, you may not have your mind completely made up by the end of this, but you will change it in some ways. Like,
I got my mind made up.
And you know why you got your mind made up? Because of what you just seen. That's why.
Oh, what I've been seeing, but
right.
Like to chill time, but because it gets to the point where it's like, oh, all right, he's a kid, he's young, he's this,
right.
he that, and
right.
then it gets to a point where the shit is repetitive,
right.
and I don't like repetitive.
Are we still in the same place we was in 2 years ago? That's a yes or no question, Leaf. The dude you see in front of you today, is that the same dude you saw in the NBA Finals 2 years ago?
In the regular season, no. In the playoffs,
okay, even in the playoffs, that's the same dude you saw.
That's the same. It looked like the same dude to me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because listen, when he's going up against somebody that's not backing down,
right.
that's gonna match him in offense, that's gonna match him in defense, right. and gonna match him on all areas of the court, he right. cowers. And I've seen it, man. Listen.
Who did he cheese up to, Leaf? Who did he cheese up to?
Jimmy Butler is staring Grant Williams right in the face,
right?
Talking about I own you. Right. You hear me? I own you in his face. What are you doing about it? Where are you at?
So the Jimmy Butler logic doesn't work because they beat Miami. They already beat them. So the Jimmy Butler logic doesn't work. No, it doesn't. You can try to sell me that, but they beat them. It's not like Miami owns them.
Did they beat them recently?
They beat them last year because Jason Tatum turned his foot in the first 10 seconds.
Okay, all right, fine. Granted.
No.
Granted. I'm granting you this.
What you're not going to do is you're not going to dismiss how they fought back in that series. You're not going to dismiss everything they did to get back in that series. You're not going to dismiss that. You can't dismiss that. If Jason Tatum doesn't turn his foot, they smoked Miami in that game 7. He was prepared for them dudes. Absolutely. To say that he's the same dude that you see today that you saw 2 years ago, that's just being disingenuous. The improvement is there. The strength is there. The mid-range is there. The competitiveness is there. All of that stuff is there. Now it's just a matter of continuously putting it together, which he's done. What
I would like to believe is that you like your advantages. There's your skill set, and then there's your advantages, man. Now I think of Jason Tatum's skill set. Everything that you told me, and everything that you selling everybody is 100% on the money in terms of his skill set. Now, when your plan A is gone, and this is something that I learned when they was talking about Kobe. When your plan A is gone, when your plan B is gone, when your plan C is gone, when your plan D is gone, now you gotta just go out your body, because the thing is, the defense know what you're doing. Your matchup know what you're doing, and you know what he bringing. He ain't stopping. The thing is, Steph Curry ain't stopping. Jimmy Butler ain't stopping. These other players that's going at you ain't stopping. How are you going to counteract the stuff that they bringing on a night-to-night basis in the 7-game series? Because the thing is, the Jason Tatum that you are high on is the Jason Tatum in the regular season, and I understand that. The Jason Tatum that I'm low on is the Jason Tatum when it comes down to May and it comes down to going to June. I don't believe in that version of Jason Tatum. I just don't. I don't, because I've seen way too many cases. I'm like, all right, Brand, all right, he got it, brother. Jason Tatum got it. And then I'm like looking, I'm like, man, this dude don't got it. He ain't ready to battle him. He ain't ready to battle this dude. And he ain't ready to battle him. Because the thing is, you talked about how, or whatchamacallit he turned his ankle last year. They smoked him. Can we say the same thing if Jimmy don't miss that shot in the year before?
No, we can't say that, because the whole game happened, Leaf. He didn't miss that shot in the first 10 seconds of the game. The whole game happened. That's number one. Number two, you brought up a really good point. I can only X and O you for a certain amount of time. It's like a boxer. At some point, let's fight. Okay, I can only
at
technique
some point.
You're gonna get
have
into a
stand
fight,
toe to toe,
and we're gonna have to fight.
the
Absolutely,
same person
absolutely.
that could put up the same 30 points and the
Absolutely.
same doubles
And
and
that
the
part I
same
agree
stuff
with.
that you could put up with, and you're gonna have to fight him.
And what ultimately happens, at some point, you have to stand up, and that's what this is about right now. And I feel like Jason Tatum is at that point. Years ago, even though I saw 50 balls in the playoffs, years ago when I saw 40s in the playoffs, and I saw him like what I saw last year in that game 6, where they could have rolled over, and he didn't roll over in game 6. Not only did he not roll over, that fourth quarter, him standing up and getting them over the hump and pushing that to a game 7, and then standing up in game 7 and putting 50 on Philadelphia. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about the competitive spirit. However, I can't look past sometimes him being, instead of I'm standing 10 toes every time, whether we win or lose, I'm standing 10 toes every time. I can appreciate that. Sure,
and that's my point exactly. My thing is like,
but I think it's different this season. I do. I think it's different this season.
You think it's different this season? I like your enthusiasm because you feeling it. Because the thing is, you got a belief system in Jason Tatum, bro, that a lot of people don't really have, including myself. And I'm like, listen. And the thing is, you talked about guys that could have been players earlier if they had 9-to-5 jobs. Here's the thing, and one of the thing is, I strongly believe in that the guys that was players of former Suns, I don't think they can be. You know who I think that can be in the league, bro? Like in a different universe, guys like you, guys like Ticket, guys like Ron, guys like Bobby. You know why? Because everywhere how y'all talk it, and I know that's at a certain point in y'all lives, y'all walk the same shit. Because the thing is, if you go back to your time, a lot of the inner city kids in the neighborhoods, they got in the league, kind of like you, Jersey, New York, and all these crazy neighborhoods. If you look now, all of these kids come from basically somewhat families of means. If you look at it, like you think about it, bro, there's no
and night schools and stuff like that.
They boss team. Look at the draft. They was all wearing chains instead of ties.
Yeah.
They got something on them. So a lot of these dudes ain't the ballers that you think they are. Now, Jason Tatum, I would agree. Single parent household. Only had his mom. Go up, go out there, go shoot, go play. This, that, the third. Same thing with Kevin Durant. Same thing with LeBron.
Right.
Now, when you get to the double parent households, this is where I start to divide, because it could have went either other way. Because at the same, you got one parent that wants you to go to 4 years of college, and then you got one parent that like, all right, go ahead in the league. Do what you gotta do. All right, chase your dream, this, that, and the third. But you got that. Listen, me and you both know. We always had that one person in the family be like, go get your education, go do this, go do.
That was my uncle.
Okay. All right. So we know how it is. Now I want to get to one more thing before I lose my memory about it. I'm done arguing playmaking with anybody under the age of 30. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm done with it. But because I'm gonna tell you what I was sold earlier, and I was on a different podcast. I was sold that in order to be an elite level playmaker, you gotta be able to wait for the double team and pass make some crazy pass out of the double team, and you gotta make it at a high rate, and then you gotta have draw three different defenders, and then make that pass towards the left, and then. Something about Tyrese Haliburton that gives everybody under the age of me John Stockton vibes. And I know you arguing that shit this Friday, and I know you're gonna hold your own. The thing is, why is it that you can't, that somehow, some way, you get nerfed from a playmaker that doesn't have maybe this shooter or that shooter or this three-way level score, that level score. And if you look at the Indiana Pacers, they got a lot of guys that could stretch the floor and play inside. Miles Turner could go inside, stretch the floor. Jalen Smith could go inside, stretch the floor. Buddy Hield. Look at that offense. It's tailor-made for Tyrese Haliburton to go off, but yet you calling it the safest 11 assists to 2 turnovers. To 2. Here, 1, 2. 1, 2. 11 assists to two turnovers. We damn near looking at Muggsy Bogues on, like in terms of turnover ratio on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm never arguing playmaking with these young kids again. You know why? Because Legend of What did this shit, and he started with that Stockton shit, and then it's up to you. It's up to you.
I've already dealt with him with the Stockton. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again.
It's up to you to clean this shit up once and for all. You gotta clean this shit up, man.
Don't worry. I'll do what I can.
You got to. So I need you to tell me what is wrong with simplicity.
Why? Wait a minute. It's a narrative. That's what's wrong with it. The problem is the narrative is created the same way the longevity argument is created. We've never in my lifetime given somebody a bad rap for doing something awesome for a long time. That's a narrative that was created. Never. When you awesome for a long time, it's always been awesome that you are that. Never has that ever been an issue. So the same logic with a guy who can, because I'm watching these guys in the NBA, they have guys in the NBA who are on a team simply because they can pass into the post. Because guys can't do that. That's not something that everyday guys can do. They got guys on the team who can pass in the post on the left side, who can pass in the post on the right side, who can pass in the post from the top of the key, because not everybody can do that. That's not as simple as everybody thinks it is. And then now you get into advanced passing, like what Stockton does when he's throwing one-handed passes in transition, hitting guys on a dime. So
I want
to.
See, the thing is, that's not what that those passes are quote unquote simple. Throwing it, waiting for the play and waiting for Karl Malone. Those is quote unquote simple passes, Chill. Yeah. You know what the passes they like? They like the Jokic passes out of the double where he throwing it across half court. You know what I'm talking about? They like the Steve Nash passes when he diving in the lane and he throw a no look in the corner behind his head.
Stockton was doing that too. So
but the thing is, they're trying to tell me that in terms of playmaking, and me and you both agreed, and you got me to believe that playmaking is more than just passing, more than just that, the third, all that, things like that.
Right.
They got me to believe that just because you're not making the most difficult type of pass and the most difficult
to that leaf. No, do not. That's like that's like a quarterback. Like, yo, if you ain't throwing bombs, you ain't a quarterback. Don't get sucked into that, Leaf. Do not get sucked into that, brother. All right, my man. I know where to find you at, Leaf. I appreciate you, brother.
Man, don't fail me.
Don't you worry about that, brother. What up, Breezy?
Chilling, man. Try not to be the villain. Yo, I was listening to you and Leaf conversation. Shout out to Leaf. Shout out to everybody that was on the panel. Shout out to you, Chill. I was listening to y'all. And I was looking at the playoff record between Karl Malone and John Stockton. It wasn't that stellar. You know, and I'm just saying,
they actually got a losing record in the playoffs. They one game under 500 in the playoffs. One game.
Right. I said that to say, in your opinion, and then I'm gonna ask why I'm really here, but I'll just continue to what you and Leaf were saying. Do you think that teammates duo can have that same kind of success and stay together for that much of a tenor? Or the team will break it up before that happens?
Not in today's game. Not in today's game. And the reason why is because the expansion of media, not only the expansion of media, the amount of money, location now won't allow guys to stay together for 10, 11 seasons. It won't happen. I can give you a prime example, Leaf. The way we are today with guys having a bad playoff series, 2 bad playoff series, Scottie Pippen and Jordan ain't together today. They're not. They're not staying together today. If we saw Tragic Magic today, him, James Worthy, and Jabbar, they're not together today. That's not happening. Bird and the Celtics getting swept out of the playoffs in '83 after winning the championship 2 years before that, they're not together today. And the reason why they're not together is because of how the expansion of media, the amount of money that these guys make, and where the league is today in terms of notoriety. I just don't see guys staying together that long. I would love to see guys stay together for that long, because you know what that means? That means that units are getting built.
Right.
And with units getting built, that also means that camaraderie is there and continuity is there. Like, I don't know how much longer Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going to be together. I don't.
That was my next question. I
don't know how much longer those two guys are going to be together. I would love to see these guys stay together because I think that they're going to win it at some point. I do believe that they're going to win it.
But do you want Tatum to stay a Celtic?
I do. I because the league, you being in New York, you know this as well as I do. When New York teams are good, when Boston is good, when the Lakers are good, the NBA is better. The NBA is just better. That doesn't mean that I don't care about what's going on in Oklahoma City or I don't care about what's going on in Minnesota. It's just that the masses care more about what's going on in Chicago, in New York, in Boston, in Miami than they do in Portland.
Now, to add to what you're saying, and I know you know this already, but the founder teams, the NBA started with like 11 teams, right? 8 teams, and the teams that you mentioned, they are some of them with the Lakers and the Celtics and you know what I'm saying, the New York team. So you always want to see success out of those teams. Right. And to your point about the league being better, the play-in tournament, you know, I am taking a little more to like it about. You know, I was watching before I pulled up, as well as with you. I wanted to ask you though, do you, out of all of those groups, do you see any rivalries brewing out of these groups? Or nah, I'm too premature with it.
Well, sure, because again, what I got to do is I got to see what the groups are, because all they did, Breezy, was take and I think I said this on a panel a couple of days ago. All they did was take the Central Division. They took that off and put Group A, and with the that's all they did. And with the Bulls, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, and Milwaukee are all in the Central Division. So instead, they took Central Division off. They put Group A, and instead of all 5 of them in, they took Cleveland out and they put Atlanta in, and they took Indiana out and they put the Knicks in that division. That's all they did. So I think you can make that. I think you can make it competitive, considering that this could possibly be a playoff matchup later on. So I think it's too early to tell right now. But if we see later on down the line where we get to the playoffs and I don't know, Cleveland sees the Knicks again, we may have ourselves a rivalry going on where Cleveland is better and they may beat the Knicks. Now we have a rivalry going on because they were in the division or they were in the play-in tournament Final Four and they got it on and then it spilled over into the playoffs. We may see something like that.
All right. So my last question, just to simplify, like you said, just keeping it divisions. What do you think is the toughest Western Conference division and the toughest Eastern Conference division?
That's what I'm saying, though, Breezy. I gotta see in terms of the in-season tournament. I gotta see exactly.
It is early. We 2-1. I think we played the most games with 3.
You guys have played the most games. Let me take a look at the divisions really quickly.
Because I know the Atlantic Division, I always tried to make an argument that we were the toughest with Boston, Philly, Brooklyn, Knicks, and Toronto. And, you know, us pretty much out of 6 teams, 5 of them usually go to the playoffs. But you see Toronto, they just missed it with the play-in situation. But, you know, that's how based on who was the most competitive division, how many teams went to the playoffs out of that division.
I think this Group B in the Western Conference, I think all 5 of these teams could make the playoffs. Houston, New Orleans, Denver, Dallas, and the Clippers.
Wow.
I think all 5 of those teams could be very well be playoff teams.
It might be the toughest group.
When I'm looking at them, with the exception of them and Group C with Sacramento, Minnesota, and Golden State and Oklahoma City, that's a pretty tough division also. San Antonio.
I'll probably give it to Group C before Group B.
Of course, because if you're looking at Sacramento, Minnesota, arguably the best defensive team in the game, Golden State, one of the most high-octane offenses, Oklahoma City, one of the best young teams in the league. So that Group C is serious, and that Group C and that Group B in the Western Conference, those two I think are probably the most competitive in the West. Now in the East, with you guys, Boston, Orlando. I think it's more top heavy. Toronto is a lot better than what I thought they were. That looked like a playoff game tonight, Breezy. It did.
Yeah, I heard that, but
it looked like a playoff game. It did.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised too. I'm looking to see them, but we haven't seen them yet. But they're in our division, so we see them 4 times a season.
Right.
So and they were always competitive. I'm not gonna lie. And for the most part, they got the best of the Nets for a long time. Just last season we swept them, but that didn't happen in a long time. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be watching, man, and watching the show, man. I appreciate you, Chill.
Absolutely, brother. You know where to find me at. Out.
All right.
What up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What up?
Yo, what's up, Chill? How's it going?
Good. What's going on?
What'd you think about that Celtics Philly game?
What did I think about the Celtics Philly game? I think that Joel Embiid in 10 years, when he's retired in 15 years, you know how Shaq would say the toughest matchup he ever had was Big Country
Reeves.
He don't talk too much about Mutombo or David Robinson. That's what Embiid's gonna say about Al Horford. That was his toughest matchup. Because I don't know what it is about whenever he sees Al Horford, but Al Horford gives Embiid work.
Yeah, Al Horford's really good at guarding some of the tougher and stronger bigs. Like he has pretty good success against like Giannis and Embiid and guys like that. He has like really good success against those guys.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. What about this in-season tournament? I mean,
it's a lot more competitive than what I thought it was going to be, and I'm not all the way in. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm all the way in, but I'm not as out as I was before. I'm a lot more invested now in it than I was because it's a good brand of basketball, and I enjoy it 100%. I especially this early in the season to have this level of competitive basketball. It's great. It's great because we're going to have January. Late December, January, going up into the All-Star break. Those are the dog days of the NBA. So guys are just basically trying to get to the All-Star break. So I don't know if you're going to see as competitive basketball at that time, but this right here can be a holdover until after the All-Star break. This could very well be that.
Chill. I didn't get to talk. Like, you left. You had technical difficulties with the Chill and Chill. About this Milwaukee Bucks team. I told you that this Milwaukee Bucks team was going to have some defensive problems, and they have. They've been having some major defensive problems, and I think coming into those playoffs, they're going to have some. Dame is going to struggle. I don't know how they're going to be able to hide him.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sorry. Protect him. Sorry, not hide.
You can't lose arguably the best perimeter defender in the game, and another good defender on your team in Grayson Allen, another dirty work guy, and then basically not have anything on the perimeter where Dame does not guard. He just doesn't. I mean, if we're going to be honest, Dame does not guard.
Yeah, he's Steph Curry. He's Steph Curry, basically. No, he's not. On defense? On defense?
No, he is not.
He's not?
No, Steph is a lot better than that. Steph will give you effort. Steph is not. Steph will give you effort. Dame does not
pass Steph.
Dame does not give the effort necessary for a lead guard. I thought to be competitive at that level. He shouldn't be this bad defensively. He shouldn't be. And
what do you think about Milwaukee pursuing Caruso? That's someone that would really help out their problems defensively.
Yeah, I think that he would be.
They need to go after like Caruso. I do think this is a hot take. I do think that Brooklyn's probably not going to give him away, like not for cheap at least. But
the Bulls.
Huh?
You mean the Bulls or you mean Brooklyn? Who do you mean?
Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets are probably not going to do this trade, but I thought maybe if Milwaukee could get their hands on Mikal Bridges, I don't know if they can or not, but I thought Mikal would really help out defensively for them.
No, they're not giving. The Brooklyn Nets are definitely not giving up Mikal Bridges. No, he's a part of their future in terms of a young scorer. No, they're not giving him up.
They're not?
No, absolutely not. They're not giving him up. He's a foundation player. They're not giving him up. No way.
So they're going to try. Yeah, I assumed as much. I thought it would be a good idea because he solves a lot of their problems. But, I guess not. I guess they're just like they're going to try to build around him or try to build around Ben if he comes back.
Yes. Not for Caruso. It's not happening.
But you do think Caruso is the probability that he could go to Milwaukee is pretty high though, right?
The Bulls are having I don't know about Milwaukee. I don't think Pat Riley will let that happen. He's definitely going to put his name in the hat and there are a number of other teams. The Lakers are going to put their name in a hat to just let him walk to Milwaukee, even though it's right up the road. I'm not sure that him being probably in Milwaukee, but I do think at some point the Bulls are going to have a fire sale.
I think I think Miami's going to go for Levine more than anything. Like, I think they might go for Levine more than anything. Don't you?
I think that they could use another perimeter scorer. That part I don't have a problem with, but I don't know if Levine helps them more. I'm not sure that Levine helps them more than Caruso does, because you already got a bucket getter in Tyler Hero. You got a bucket getter in Jimmy Buckets. So to add another guy, we still haven't shored up our perimeter defense. Is that just Josh Richardson? I mean, I'd like to think that I would rather have Caruso than Josh Richardson as a perimeter defender. I would much rather have him, and I would much rather have him than Kyle Lowry as a perimeter defender. So
I don't think the Lakers are getting Caruso back. Is that crazy for me to think? I don't think the Bulls are giving him back.
No,
I do not think they're giving him back to him.
No,
they're not. I think Boston. I don't think Boston's getting Caruso, but I do think they do need to call him for. No, I don't think they're getting him. I don't think they're getting him. I don't even think they're going to ask for him. But I do think we do need to ask for Andre Drummond. Now you got an interior defender and you got a rebounder. What do you think about that?
You could wait for the Bulls to cut him, and you could just get him for free. You don't got to give up anything.
You think they're going to cut him?
The Bulls are going to have a fire sale.
Damn. I think that 3 big man rotation with Drummond, Porzingis, and Horford. You got Drummond, who, he's not good at defending in space. Mm-hmm. He's not a good perimeter defender, but he is a good interior defender, and he will get you rebounds. I think that does solve that interior defensive problem. The problem with Drummond is a streaky defender, but it's not really that effective. And if you could get him to rebound, the problem is he can't make free throws neither. So you can't have him in the game and the game. So that doesn't work neither. But he's a good lob threat, though.
Yeah, but I don't. Offense isn't your issue. Dirty work stuff is your issue. And if you could get Drummond to be effective, just as a rebounder and a defender, which he doesn't do he still rebounds at a high level, but defensively, he doesn't really give you as much as you need coming off the bench.
Really?
I do think that you need to. I do think you need to shore up that bench. I don't know if Drummond is the answer. I can't say that I hate it. I just don't love it.
I mean, from our bench, that's really the only thing I can identify that's like a major issue, because Pritchard's playing pretty good. His offense is a little streaky. It's been a little streaky lately, but I still trust him to get that stuff cleaned up by playoff time. Yeah. And Hauser has been just something else. He just, like, every time he shoots, I don't think he's gonna miss.
Yeah.
And he's
one of the better defenders in the league, too.
Right. I didn't realize how good defensively he was. Yes, I did not realize that.
Switching, really good at reading screens, knowing how to get around screens. He's a really good closeout guy too. So I like his game. I do. I like
not bad defensively.
100%.
Right. I think Chill, you said something interesting on the panel. I got to get to watching Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, 30 and 15. Like, those are like insane numbers. Like
24 and 13 on average. 24
on average.
6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He's incredible.
Stockton numbers with no turnovers, little to no turnovers.
He's incredible.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about him. I'm on a Tyrese Haliburton train. Yes, I am.
You think he's going to be the best? You think he's going to be? You think later on down the line he's going to be the best point guard in the league?
I think we're going to have a serious conversation about it.
Mm.
I got a lot of pushback about it. Well, he's never going to be better than Luka. I heard the same thing about Jason Tatum never being in the MVP conversation. He's never going to jump Luka. Meanwhile, we having a serious conversation about Jason Tatum being
league MVP.
So that's all I got to say about that. So, all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
You have a good one, Chill.
Yes, sir. What up? What up, SB?
I come every time I pull up on you. I waited a second. I was doing something, put the kids to bed.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls get brought up. Oh man, look, OG, look. I'm like 2 waters in. I got meditation candle right here. Look, you see me? Look, I'm over here, man. They making me old. I'm gonna start looking like you watching these.
It's actually a good thing what's going on with the Bulls. Let me tell you why it's a good thing. Because this fire sale is gonna ease your mind. You know why this fire sale is gonna ease your mind? Because now we can get a foundation, right? If we having a fire sale, that means that we ain't trying to win. So now if we ain't trying to win, what are we doing? We got to get us a franchise player. That's what we got to do. We got to get us a guy who we building our unit around. Once we get a guy we building our unit around, then there's some buzz. As opposed to, yo, we gonna get DeMar DeRozan and then we going into the playoffs. Okay, we don't know what we doing.
We don't know what we doing.
We have no idea.
Somebody need to lose their job.
Come on, man. We don't know what we doing.
And then so sitting watching the game, nobody look like they want to play. I'm watching the Utah Jazz and Phoenix. The Jazz are up right now. I want to talk about the NCAA tournament, but I had to talk about the Bulls thing because that's a couple trades that I want. My dream scenario trade, I doubt it happened because I don't think the Kings will come off on Murray. I say send. Look, you see your face did it right there. I say Davion Mitchell. We'll take Harrison Barnes, the contract y'all don't want. Keegan Murray and maybe Chris Durant.
Why are you asking for players? Why are you asking for players?
I need a superstar.
How are we going to get better? How are we going to get better?
Keegan Murray is now our foundation, our direction, because I think because the Kings do want Zach, but they trying to find a way to keep Keegan Murray because they didn't even trade Keegan Murray in the Beal trade because that's why they didn't build and go there. But I think if you add Zach LaVine to that team, you're going to get rid of some defense. And then now you're going to turn Keegan Murray to a 3D guy, and you're going to stun his growth. Because I think if Keegan Murray gets his own team, I think he'll be an all-star caliber player within the next 2 years. Because that kid is nice.
Which is true. But with the Bulls, this is one of the best. This is one of the best drafts coming up this year. This year and next year. So you already gave your first round pick to Houston. That's how they got Thompson. Okay, we don't want to do that again, right? No, we don't want to do that again. So how about with this fire sale, we get us some ones. We get us some high ones, so we can start to build our unit.
You talking nice. You talking like
how about we start to build our unit? There's a reason why you got behind the Derrick Rose train. One, he's from Chicago. Two, he was a baller. We can build our unit around this dude.
Yeah.
We can build our unit around this dude. It's unfortunate that he broke down, sure. But take that out the equation. When you first see him, we got our franchise player. We can build our unit around this dude. That's where we have to get back to with the Bulls. Stop with this. There is no band-aid. There is no quick fix here. None. We had the formula with Lonzo and Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, and it got wrecked. Why? Because Lonzo got hurt. That threw a monkey wrench in everything we was trying to do. Now DeRozan's getting old. Zach LaVine's value is going this way because we suck.
It's terrible.
That's not helping us. That's like a bad chick that hang out with a bunch of ugly chicks. She really is a bad chick, though. She really is a bad chick. She ain't the best looking of the ugly chicks. No, this chick is actually fly. She just hanging out with some bum chicks, and it's making her look whack. She really ain't that whack. That's what's going on with Zach LaVine right now.
It is. We play with no effort. Like Caruso played good, so we get the first for him too. I'm just ready for something to happen. We just need, like you said, we just need a direction. But before I get into the in-season tournament, I got a question, OG. What do you remember about Larry Bird in 1983?
What do I remember about Bird in 1983?
Just give me any Bird moment that you have.
I don't. Well, let's see. I remember Bird in the All-Star game.
I'm glad you said that. Look, that you beat the point right there. So I went to Five Below. I've been collecting like these little poppers. I got your boy when I found LeBron. So anytime I go to the Five Below, I got LeBron. I'm gonna start collecting the basketball players. But I seen him. I was like, yo, All-Star game, Larry Bird from 1983. So I always ask you, like, you know what I'm saying, teach the young or something. We got to start back doing that every time you chop it up. Give me a Larry Bird story from 1983. He could be an all-star game. Give me anything. Give me something.
They got swept. They got swept in the playoffs in '83 against the Milwaukee Bucks. They got swept out of the playoffs. Bird, he came down with the flu, and he actually came back, and he wasn't very good, but he still played at a high level that year. They just ran into a buzzsaw in that Milwaukee team, and on top of that, they had a coach who they just I mean, they just had a difficult time with him. But Bird was still awesome that year. I mean, I think he was 20. I think he was 23 in 11, 23 and 10 that year, and 6 assists. He wasn't really shooting that many threes, but the Celtics were still at the top of the Eastern Conference. They just ran into a buzzsaw. What the Celtics to Milwaukee was, Milwaukee had Boston's number, Philly had Milwaukee's number, and Boston had Philly number. So that's the way that worked. It was kind of like in '93 where Seattle had Houston number, Phoenix had Seattle number, and Houston had Phoenix number.
It's about if you can avoid the one that got your number, you're gonna make it.
That's essentially what that was. It was matchups more than anything.
Now about the in-season tournament, OG, I want to fall in that glimpse of be like, yeah, everybody's playing competitive. It was different, but I just see my Chicago Bulls play, and we are terrible. I think we lost OG. Wait for OG to come back. Oh, we lost OG. Wait, OG lost. Okay,
I'm still hot. I'm still with you.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know what happened. I'm like,
I'm still hot. I'm trying to get this chat to work. And
your chat messing up. I'm gonna have to find a logo, man. If I'm gonna get you like an ice basketball town to put for your background or something, get the Chill Town logo. I'm gonna have to talk to some people I know that make logos. But back to the point of the in-season tournament. I don't couldn't necessarily say it's like teams playing harder, better, because obviously you see when Dame came out and said like, we got guys at the end of the bench who don't make a lot of money that would love that 500,000 because that'll be probably double or a lot of money compared to them. I just think the NBA is doing a good job to make it more noticeable, and a lot of guys are paying attention to more games at this point in time of the season. That's it. Because our games been closer, yes, but don't act like we haven't seen good close games in the regular season. But now it's just like, it seems like it means more now when the Utah Jazz played, because the Utah Jazz playing the Phoenix Suns, and now the NBA made it feel like it's something because guess what? Now it's a close game, and the court is purple, so now you know this must be the in-season tournament. It's just I think the NBA did a good job on the marketing side to make everything feel like something. But I think we have been not as fair as fans just because we just bored with everything. I think it's a micro generation because I think it has been good games in the regular season and it has been BS games, but I just figured I just think people just paying attention more. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's something that I ain't seen, but I'm just going off from all the games that I have seen. It feels like regular season. Maybe because I watch basketball too much or more than the average person.
No, it for me, from what I've seen, and I said this earlier tonight that I'm watching that Boston-Toronto game. It felt like a playoff game. It did. It felt like a playoff game watching that. It felt like, these dudes were real serious about what they was trying to do. And I think it's great for the league, yo. You've heard me how critical I was of the in-season tournament. I wasn't feeling it at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it at all. But now watching it, the fact of how competitive it's been, I'm feeling it. I ain't all the way in yet, SB. Don't get me wrong. I ain't all the way in yet. We only been on a couple of dates. I ain't marrying this chick.
Right. You seem cool. You
seem like a cool. Let's hang out a little bit more.
All the boxes.
Yeah, that's all.
What would I like for the changes for the tournament to be? I think we should just like once the in-season tournament start from like either it's like November to like Christmas or whatever, how you got to do it, like do it straight through. I don't like the like in between games. I want it because then now to be like March Madness, like in-season tournament in November. So now it's like, every game now means something when you're going through. I would rather, but I know this year was it's the test run of it, so you just got to give and take what you get. But I would love to see it just like soon as the in-season tournament starts, you play your filler games, then you go to this part of the tournament, go to the bracket, then championship. Maybe if you can make it to Christmas, then that'll be even better because now the Christmas game is the championship game. That'll be crazy.
The words right out my mouth. I was thinking Christmas would be the Final Four. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Or even the championship game, like leading up to the Final Four would be right before Christmas, and the championship game would be. But Christmas, the thing about Christmas is, Christmas is that whole slate of games. That's what the thing is. So we can't do Christmas as the championship game because it can't just be one game on Christmas. No, that's not the way that works. But it would be awesome though.
Would the sacrifice be worth it? Would that game feel like the finals, Game 7 of the finals? If you imagine, would you rather have 4 Christmas games or one great game that's a Game 7 of a finals field?
NBA wouldn't be the NBA without. You got that matinee game at 12 o'clock with the Knicks and Philly. Then you got the primetime game at 5 between, I don't know, Dallas and the Lakers. And then you got the late game between the Warriors and Denver. So that's part of Christmas.
That's part.
So,
hold on. What's the Christmas schedule right now? We're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of this. What's the Christmas schedule this year?
I think the 12 o'clock game. I think the 12 o'clock game is Philly and in the Knicks.
No, the 12 o'clock game is
Philly and Milwaukee and the Knicks. Milwaukee and the Knicks. The 2 o'clock game is I don't know who the 2 o'clock game is.
Warriors and Nuggets. Okay,
so that's the matinee. So the Warriors and the Nuggets, and I think the Lakers got the 5 o'clock game. That's the prime time game. I don't know who they play. Who do the Lakers play on Christmas?
Boston.
Okay, so they got Boston on Christmas, and then you got the 8 o'clock game.
Philly and the Heat.
Philly and the Heat at 8 o'clock, and then I'd like to think Denver is the late game.
No, Denver play Golden State at 2. The late game is Mavericks versus Suns. Now, Matt, you get this whole list of games, or you get Lakers versus Celtics in the NCAA tournament on Christmas. It's the game 7, winner take all. You see them host the trophy and everything.
Could we add the in-season championship game to Christmas in addition to, because remember, like we got regular season games during the in-season tournament. Can we add the in-season championship game to the Christmas schedule? Let's take one of them games out and let's put the in-season championship game prime time on Christmas.
But what if one of the teams that scheduled play on Christmas in the finals of the tournament then?
That's what I'm talking about. We switched that up and we put the championship game. We put the championship game on Christmas. Maybe we can do that. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking outside the box.
It's telling me a little bit, but it's just like I think I'm not gonna really get the feel for because, like I said, I watch too much basketball, so every game feels like I done seen good intense games in regular season. I done seen BS games. I watched a lot of boys basketball, so I see a lot of BS games. I'm not really gonna get the feel up until the bracket start. When the tournament start and they in like Vegas and everybody in one spot, I think that will take it to the next level.
That's fair, y'all.
We'll be glad to see. OG2, I know I see you came on the TikTok. It was like I was streaming on YouTube, but I had went on live on TikTok. What are you usually doing around like Monday or Friday, like around like 7 Central? Because I would love to have you on the show.
This right here. This where I'm at. Yeah, this where I'm at. I'm on Monday nights. Monday nights, I'm usually on my live.
Okay.
Monday nights, I'm usually on my live. I could possibly stop through for a couple of minutes before I get hot.
Okay, cool. We're gonna chop it up and check it out.
I could possibly come through and get hot.
I gotta lock you in with my host Sean. He got an old school man like you too. So he was like you and him was the only 2 guys I heard when as soon as y'all seen Wemby. I was like, yeah, man, I ain't never same thing you told me. I was like, bro, I ain't never seen nobody like Wemby. I'd have seen him before. He was like, bro, yes, you have. I'm like, who? Ralph Sampson. You and him is the only 2 guys I heard say that. Nobody else said that. So I think like, yeah, I want you 2 guys to chop it up.
That's what I saw when I saw him. So all right, SB. You know where to find me at, brother. Good to talk to you. Yes, sir. Out. In-season tournament. It's good to see you guys tonight. It was dope to see y'all. It's about that time for me to shake the spot. But real good conversation. I will be back on tomorrow at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific on Chill with Chill. Me and Big Ox will chop it up. Then throughout the week, on Mondays, I'm on the panel, Monday to Friday. That's daily. And then on Wednesdays, I'm on Chill with Chill. Wednesday and Saturday, I'm on Chill with Chill. And on Thursdays, I'm on Fluent and Chill with my man Fluent and Playmaker, the lovely Playmaker Haley. So this is where you can find me at. And if not, I'm on TikTok. I'm usually doing my lives on TikTok as well or posting content there. So this is where you can find me at, guys. It's basketball season. This is where I'm at. But it was great to see you guys tonight. But I will see you soon. Until then, take it light. Take it. Good stream tonight, man.